It's October 1929. You're an American. You have a job, a house, a savings account, and a stock portfolio that's doubled in the last 2 years. Your neighbor just bought a second car. Your barber won't shut up about RCA. Life is so good it feels illegal. Then you wake up on a Wednesday, and your entire net worth is gone. Not most of it. Not half. Gone. The stocks you bought with your life savings. Worthless. The money you borrowed to buy more stocks. You still owe that. The bank where you kept your emergency fund. Closed. Doors locked. A sign on the window that says, temporarily suspended, in a font that feels permanent. You didn't gamble. You didn't do anything crazy. You did what everyone told you to do. Your banker said buy. Your newspaper said buy. The President of the United States said the economy was fundamentally sound. And now you're standing outside a locked bank at 7 a.m. in your work clothes with $6 in your pocket and a family of 4 to feed. This is the Great Depression. And it didn't just happen. Somebody built it. Let's rewind. 1922. The war is over, the economy is roaring, and America just discovered the greatest drug ever invented: easy money. Factories that made tanks now make toasters. Assembly lines that built bombs now build Buicks. Henry Ford figures out how to turn a 12-hour job into 90 minutes. And suddenly everyone and their grandmother can afford a car. Oil booms. Steel booms. Rubber booms. Detroit becomes the center of the universe. Cities light up. Literally. Electricity spreads like gossip. Refrigerators replace ice boxes. Radios show up in 10 million homes. And for the first time in history, an entire country can hear the same song at the same time. Jazz. Loud, chaotic, and impossible to explain to your parents. It's basically the Wi-Fi of the 1920s. But the real magic is happening on Wall Street. Because somebody figured out you don't need to build things to get rich. You just need to buy paper that says you own things. And then sell that paper to someone else for more. You walk into a brokerage. You've got $500. Your whole savings. How much stock can I buy? With $500? $5,000 worth. How? Margin. We lend you the rest. Stock goes up, you pay us back and keep the profit. What if it goes down? It won't. That's the pitch. That's the entire pitch. And it works on everybody. Dentists, teachers, factory workers. A bellboy at the Waldorf tells a Vanderbilt to dump railroads and go all in on something called aeronautics. A shoeshine boy in Lower Manhattan starts giving stock tips to the guys who are supposed to be the experts. You know a bubble is about to pop when the shoeshine boy is telling JP Morgan where to invest. And that actually happened. By 1929, Americans have borrowed $8.5 billion on margin. That's $150 billion today. Money borrowed against stocks that only go up because everyone's borrowing money to buy them. The whole thing is a Jenga tower held together by vibes and IOUs. But here's the part they don't teach you. The game was rigged before you sat down. Groups of wealthy insiders, bankers, fund managers, connected operators, were running something called stock pools. Here's how they worked. Step 1. Pick a stock. Doesn't matter which. RCA, General Electric, whatever's hot. The insiders pool their money and start buying shares. Quietly, slowly, like sharks circling before the water turns red. Step 2. Make noise. Place big, flashy trades. Tip off newspaper columnists, half of whom are secretly on the payroll. RCA, the future of American industry. The stock starts climbing. 10%, 20, 30. Step 3. Wait for the crowd. Regular people see the headlines, see the price rising, and do exactly what you do. They pile in. Every dollar they invest pushes the price up one more tick. And every tick makes the insiders' shares worth more. Step 4. Vanish. Once the price is pumped high enough, the insiders sell. All of it. Quietly. By the time the average investor realizes the rocket ship has no engine, the people who built it are already on a yacht somewhere counting the money. There were over 100 of these pools running on Wall Street in the late 20s. 100 rigged games, running in broad daylight, and not a single regulator so much as raised an eyebrow. A few people tried to warn everyone. Economist Roger Babson stood up at a conference in September 1929 and said, "A crash is coming, and it may be terrific." The market opens and immediately drops like an elevator with a cut cable. Stocks lose 11% in a single morning. Traders scream into phones. Ticker machines fall hours behind because they literally cannot print numbers fast enough. Outside the New York Stock Exchange, a crowd gathers. Some are praying. A few think someone's jumped from a window. Someone has. But not for that reason. He was a roofer. On Friday, the bankers step in. The most powerful men in American finance gather at 23 Wall Street, the House of Morgan. Thomas Lamont, Charles Mitchell, Albert Wiggin. They pool $240 million and start buying blue-chip stocks. The idea is to Project Calm, to show America that the smart money is still in. The market stabilizes. Barely. The newspapers print reassuring headlines. Bankers halt market slide. Worst is over. Then comes Tuesday, October 29th, Black Tuesday. The Dow collapses. $14 billion disappears in a single day. Adjusted for inflation, that's $200 billion. Men who were millionaires at breakfast are broke by lunch. A broker faints on the floor of the exchange, gets revived, looks at the ticker tape, and faints again. Now remember that margin trick? Buy $100 of stock with $10 down, borrow the other $90? Your stock just lost half its value. It's worth $50 now. Your broker calls. He wants his $90 back. You don't have $90. So the broker sells your stock at the absolute worst price imaginable to recover his loan. That forced sale pushes the price down further, which triggers the next guy's margin call, which triggers the next. A death spiral. A financial avalanche where everyone's trying to run through the same door at the same time and the door is on fire. Meanwhile, in a private office, a man named Jesse Livermore, they called him the boy plunger, is smoking a cigar and reading the tape with a small smile. He's been short-selling the market for weeks, betting it would crash. When Black Tuesday hit, he didn't lose a penny. He made $100 million. In one day, while a retired postman in Ohio named George watched his life savings, $4,000, 40 years of walking in the rain, go from $4,000 to $11. And the bankers who staged that heroic rescue on Friday, Thomas Lamont and friends, their $240 million rescue bought them just enough time, not to save the market, but to quietly reposition their own investments before the real collapse hit on Tuesday. They didn't save anybody. They saved themselves. The crash was the gunshot. What came after was the bleeding. By 1931, the stock market is old news. Now it's everything else. Banks start failing, not one or two, but thousands. Over 9,000 banks collapsed between 1930 and 1933. 9,000. You walk to your bank on a Tuesday morning. The doors are locked. There's a crowd. Someone's crying. A man in a hat is yelling at a window. Where's my money? I put 20 years in that account. Sir, the bank is temporarily. There is no safety net. When a bank fails in 1931, your money is just gone. Not frozen. Not delayed. Gone. Like it was never there. Unemployment hits 25%. 1 in 4 Americans can't find work. Factories that were building the future 2 years ago are now rusting in silence. Detroit, the city that put the world on wheels, watches its auto plants close one by one. Production drops 75%. Breadlines stretch for blocks. Soup kitchens serve watered-down broth to people who used to serve others. Children faint in classrooms, not from boredom, but from hunger. They haven't eaten in days. And in Washington, Treasury Secretary Andrew Mellon, the third richest man in America, has an idea for words that would make a supervillain blush. What Mellon doesn't mention, while families in Oklahoma are eating dandelion soup and packing everything they own into broken-down Fords, he's buying Renaissance paintings from the Soviet Union's Hermitage Museum. 21 masterpieces. Raphael, Titian, Van Eyck, at pennies on the dollar, because the Soviets are desperate for cash. Those paintings later became the founding collection of the National Gallery of Art, a monument to American culture, purchased during America's worst nightmare, at fire sale prices, by the man who told everyone else to just let it burn. Then the sky turns black. Literally. In the Great Plains, years of aggressive farming stripped the topsoil bare. When the rain stopped and the wind came, the earth itself lifted up and left. Dust storms, black blizzards, swallowed towns whole. Livestock suffocated in the fields. Families coughed through the night and woke up buried in the land that used to feed them. Millions packed up and drove west. California or bust. For most, it was just bust. By 1933, America was flat on its back. Broken, starving, choking on dust. And then a new voice came over the radio. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. You're here to save the country. By planting trees? By planting trees. The work's progress. People who had stood in bread lines for 2 years now stood on scaffolding, pouring concrete. The Tennessee Valley Authority put up dams and brought electricity to towns that had never seen a light bulb. And then Roosevelt did the thing that actually mattered. He built rules. The SEC, so Wall Street couldn't run stock pools in broad daylight anymore. The FDIC, so your savings wouldn't vanish when a bank did. Glass-Steagall, so the bank holding your mortgage couldn't gamble it away on penny stocks. Social Security, so you wouldn't work until you collapsed and then die with nothing. These weren't just laws. They were receipts. A paper trail of everything that had been stolen. But here's the part that should bother you. Andrew Mellon, the man who said liquidate everything while buying Raphaels, was investigated for tax evasion. Acquitted. Charles Mitchell, the man who told America to buy stocks while secretly covering his own losses, was tried for tax fraud. Acquitted. Albert Wiggin of Chase National, who had been secretly shorting his own bank stock while telling shareholders everything was fine, he resigned. With a pension, $100,000 a year. For life. The people who built the bomb walked away. The people who were standing near it lost everything. And 79 years later, in 2008, the same script played out with different costumes. Goldman Sachs sold mortgage-backed securities to their clients while privately betting those securities would fail. The crash wiped out $11 trillion. The banks got bailed out. The executives kept their bonuses. Nobody went to prison. The Great Depression wasn't a thunderstorm. It was a machine. It had engineers. It had operators. And when it was done grinding up 30 million lives, the engineers collected their winnings and went home. So the next time someone tells you the market crashed, like it tripped, like it fell on its own, like it was nobody's fault, remember this. Markets don't crash. They get crashed. And the people holding the hammer never seem to be standing near the glass.